Hello and welcome to the first video in a brand new tutorial series. I'm officially starting HTML tutorials. So in this tutorial, the website you're looking at in front of you right now, this beautiful looking website, we're going to show you by the end of the first few lessons here, you'll be able to do this. It's actually not as complicated as you would think. In my opinion, HTML programming is the simplest, easiest language that there is. And it's actually it's called a markup language. So it's not as crazy as the other ones. There's not a lot of the same concepts that the other programming languages have, but it's a lot of fun, and you can make it's artistic, you know. So let's start from the beginning. Now I'm not going to go over everything in this video. We're just going to talk about the basics. We're going to set up basically the main components that you need for a site, right? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to tell the browser what your code is, like what kind of code is in the document. In this case, we're just working with HTML, and I recommend just sticking with plain HTML. You start putting Java and PHP in your websites, and they become extremely vulnerable to hacks. So then we have the HTML beginner tag, head. This is how we do a comment in HTML. And the head is where if you'll notice here, it's where your title, meta description, meta keywords, meta language, and there are certain other few components that we can add into there. But in fact, let me look at something here. Where is it? Sorry about this. Yeah, right here. Actually, which page were we on? Oh, actually, forgot something in here. Yeah. It's meta name equals description, content equals right. So we're gonna where were we? I got so many pages open. We're gonna want to put our meta tags in here. Alright, we have, let me save this so the colors look cool. Alright, so we have our meta description tag, meta keyword tag, and meta language tag. Now what this does is this provides search engines with some information about your website, and these are extremely vital if you want to get your website out there, right? The description tag, also the title tag, tells the browser what the content of your website is going to be about, pretty much, and that's used for when people are searching for your site. My site is about this and that, right? Now, common theme in HTML is when we put these tags in there, like HTML, anything we start, we're gonna end with a close bracket like that, except for with a few exceptions. So title, and then we end it. See what I'm saying? And these here are a few exceptions. There is no, backslash, whatever there. Okay, and then our keywords, you're going to use, there's several of them, handy website that will actually give you a free tool. Let me find it here. Yes, I was making some supermodel videos on Vimeo for a while, just like music videos of beautiful women, but Vimeo decided to shut down. Oh, I was just commenting on that because I'm sure you saw my bookmarks in there. Here's one right here. internetmarketingninjas.com. They got a free keyword density analysis tool, and what you'll do is you'll copy the link in there and put it, and that'll give you your keywords, and your keywords will generally be like the words that are used the most on your website. And we'll talk more about keywords later. There's a certain way to do it. So we start with the doc type HTML. Always start with HTML head. Once we're done with our header, we end our header. Then we open our body. We end our body. We end our HTML. Now, your website content goes in here, pretty much. And that's pretty much, in here is your website, pretty much, right? You got your end, you got your beginning, you got your metadata, your title, the description, and this description is what shows up. Let's say you do a Google search, right? Well, I'll show you. The description you put in there is actually going to be this right here, right? And putting the meta language tag, now I got to say the same thing for YouTube. If when you make a YouTube video, it's a good idea to go ahead and just tell YouTube what language you're in, because that helps a lot of people out. Like, say somebody who's from India pulls up your video and we have a funky American accent, and they're like, they're kind of annoyed by it. Or one of us find like it's somebody from another country and we can't understand them. That's what the language tag is about. I mean, if you pull up a web page, it's in Hebrew and you can't read it, or like Egyptian, well, what's the point? So, well, there's translators, but so the very basics here. This isn't, you need to know this. This is the first thing you need to be able to memorize. If you can type all this out from scratch, you're doing really good. So we got our HTML tag, HTML head tag. I love typing it out. Open bracket explanation doc type HTML title. You get the gist of it. And I'm going to put a link in the description of these videos, and what you can do is click on the link. It'll take you to this website here that I'm working on here, and you can right click on the page and click view source code, and then that way you have the source code. Now you can study it and analyze it, and I'll tell you what else I'll do. I'll go ahead and add comments in here. That kind of explains everything, so you know what's going on. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to go over in this first tutorial. So let me make a little note here what we covered in this first tutorial. We covered HTML, head, body, tags, metadata, including let's see, title, description, keywords, and language. Okay, I'm kind of trying to be thorough, trying to think if there's anything I left out. So to reiterate, and always, you could consider this like the shebang line of HTML. There's a shebang line in Python, C++, stuff like that, Bash, which in Python would be, and that's just used so that the system or the interpreter can understand what to be prepared for. Okay, so just one last reiteration. Go ahead and I would write this stuff down if I were you. Doc type HTML. We open our HTML document with the HTML tag. We open our header with the head tag. In the header, we put vital things and there's some more stuff that can be added in here, and we'll go over that later. Always our title tag, our meta description. Another thing about the title and the description: the words in your title should be in your description, and they should be in your keywords tag. You want them. You don't want a title that none of the words in the title are in the description or the keywords. You want all the words that are in your title need to be in your description, and they need to be in your keywords, and they need to naturally be in your keywords. Like when you use the keyword density or keyword analyzation tool, the words that it pulls up and finds and says these are the words that are your most often used words need to match with your description and your title. And you don't want it to be too excessive about it. You know, you want like a keyword density of maybe around 1% or a little higher maybe, and it's debated. Okay, so every time we open something, we end it, and in HTML we end a tag with like that, with the backslash. So backslash, end of our head tag. Then we open our body. Our body is the actual website, your pictures, your content, all that. And then of course at the very end of the HTML document we close our body tag and we close our HTML tag. So that's all for this short tutorial. In the next tutorial I'm going to show you some basics. URLs. We'll go over URLs, and I'll throw in a few little extra bonuses. But until next time, I'm Scott with an HTML tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, comment below, check out the links in the description where you can study these source codes, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe.